With 7:16 right now, and former president and now convicted felon Donald Trump is expected to have a press conference later this morning following yesterday's unprecedented verdict.
Mr. Trump's defense team now have 2 weeks to file motions in the case, including an appeal. So here to give us more insight on what comes next is criminal defense attorney Arthur Aidala. So great to see you. Thanks for coming on this morning. Let's talk about
my pleasure.
There you are. There's your audio. Okay, so let's talk about this first. You know, can you walk me through what happened yesterday? We had this note that came out that said the jury was being sent home. Moments later, we get word that there is a verdict, right? So, and then 30 minutes later, it's 34 guilty counts on all counts. Walk us through what exactly was happening in those moments.
Well, I would tell you this, that is not so uncommon. You would think it would be more uncommon, but it's not. It's happened. They're asking for a readback. We want a readback, and while we're trying to go through the paperwork to find the readback, then we get a note in and say we have a verdict. We're like, hold on, you said you wanted a readback, and they actually changed their mind. So, by that taking place, here's where I think things went sideways for President Trump. It had to do with the judges. Reading of the law to the jury. That's the time where the judge gets to show kind of where his mindset is at. And guys, unlike other cases where they open up like a 3-ring binder and they read what the rape or burglary or all the other crimes were used to, this was very unique. This is taking misdemeanors and creating felonies, that the misdemeanors that are out of the statute of limitations. So this is where the judge, I think for the first time, created a instruction to the jury out of whole cloth. It never existed before. And once I heard that charge, I was like, okay, Donald Trump is going to, in my opinion, made it very easy for the prosecutors to do their job. It made it easier for them to find him guilty. Had they said you need to be unanimous on the underlying crime, was it only for election fraud, or only because it was tax fraud, or only for something else, but all 12 of you have to agree why he did it, it would have been much more difficult to get a conviction.
Okay. So you're basically saying that the judge influenced this verdict?
I think in any trial, the way the judge reads the law to the jury, it has an effect. Even judges, give the short version of reasonable doubt. Other judges go on and on about what reasonable doubt is and give examples. Some judges give a very small definition of the presumption of innocence. Other judges go on and on about innocence. So the burden of proof, all of those things. That's where a judge has a tremendous amount of influence on an outcome of a case.
Okay, so, but this has all been unprecedented, right? And you kind of waking up this morning and you have one side of the country saying the judicial system is rigged. You have other people saying we have to trust the system. So I'm listening to you very carefully. I don't really know where you fall on the issue here if you're going after the judge, but I want to talk about what comes next, because Trump's defense attorneys are now working on this appeal, right? So the question is, what does that look like? Do they have a leg to stand on? When does the appeal process begin? Does it begin after the July 11th sentencing?
Yes. Well, technically, yes. After the sentencing, you file, and the appeal process probably should start working today. I mean, the sooner that someone takes this transcript, goes through it line by line. Just to be clear, in an appeal, the only is what's in the written word in the transcript. You can't bring in anything new. So you go through it line by line, and where I would start is the actual charges of the case. Can you wanted to do, and what Judge Merchan allowed him to do, which is take a misdemeanor out of the statute of limitations and bring it back into the statute of limitations by finding some other underlying. I don't know, and forget about me. I can't find a lawyer or another judge who has seen this happen before. So I think the first thing you're going to ask, it's 5 judges on the appellate court, asking them a case.
But again, this is all unprecedented. So it's kind of hard to ask this question, but what do you think then are the chances that this verdict will get overturned?
I think it's going to be. I am not a political person. I hate to bring politics into it, but you can't be naive. The judges on the appellate division, I believe all of them have been appointed by either Andrew Cuomo or Governor Hochul, and they also be appointed. And whether you try, a lot of judges and a lot of human beings, right? There's a self-preservation aspect of it, and that kind of bleeds into the decision-making process at times. So uphill battle going against 5 judges who are appointed by Democratic governors who are no fans of Donald Trump. I think if they look at the actual law, I think they may say, do we want to allow society to target a state citizen for a crime that's outside of the statute of limitations, which is there to protect the citizens, and give prosecutors more power than maybe they deserve?
There's been a lot of talk about jail time, right? What exactly that looks like. He was found guilty of these 34 felonies here, but how many felony cases end up for somebody who's not a former president with jail time?
Yeah.
All right, and how much leeway does a judge like Judge Merchan have in sentencing?
Well, I don't think there's going to be jail time here. I think the judge is going to look at all other felonies and say, hey, no one else goes to jail on felonies. Although Merchan is known as being a tough sentencer.
Yeah.
So we, have some little child care issues here. So I actually have to run. Otherwise, my 7-year-old is going to kill me. I wanted to be on with you guys. I love your show. And I appreciate
Arthur, we appreciate
Thank you so much
when duty calls.
It's a historic moment. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Real quick, though, any chance that you would join the Trump team in the appeals process?
There's great appellate lawyers here in the city of New York. I'm sure I'm a great lawyer to take care of him.
All right, go do your dad thing. We appreciate you always, all right? Talk to you soon.